So another thing I said I was gonna jump into a little bit, which I might, we might dive in just a teeny bit. It's a big conversation to have, but
Yeah.
and this goes. There's a lot of different angles this could come from and go to, but the main thing is, talking about, I run into a lot of younger people, and they're starting careers, and they're doing those jobs that everybody did when they was kids. Working at McDonald's or working at a fast food or doing something like that.
Yeah.
Working in a warehouse, right, or something like that, right? And it's I think it's just not knowing about all the options that are available for you,
Right.
and going to the ones that seem the most celebrated, right? The most celebrated, and the ones that are the most like seem glorious, like they're all the glory, right? Going to college,
I
getting
looked
a
it up.
degree.
Like when you look at like the who gets paid the most, or
Yeah,
they go from surgeon to lawyer to.
you gotta look on the real ones though. Sometimes the real ones don't. They don't go that.
They don't go there.
They don't go that glorious, right?
Yeah.
The glorious ones, doctors, nurses, but
Surgeons,
they're
rural
showing
surgeons.
electricians that make $180,000 a year.
Yes.
So my point was, I talked to a lot of young people, and then they asked me, as far as from plumbing or anything, like how much you make and this and that. And it's like, I try to help people understand this. I want younger, especially the younger people, even older. If you're older and you don't know what you're doing and you don't like what you're doing or whatever, I think, really what I wanted to get into was more like, there's a lot of ways to make money, right?
Sure.
And people are making money in all sorts of things, learning as they go. And I was talking to a kid, like I said, and he was telling me about it, about how much he's making working at Chick-fil-A, and I was like, yeah, you come here, you could probably make, you'll do plumbing, you could probably make $30, $40, like $35 an hour at the max, you know what I mean, at a company or whatever.
Right.
He couldn't believe it, right? He was like,
What?
baffled.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, and then you do some other things inside, like on call, or you're doing some like commission type of thing. You can make even more than that. And it kind of blew his mind. But the thing is, like, they're not teaching that in school,
No.
right? In school is the glorious positions, right? Or the positions that don't require that type of physical work, right? You want to be a teacher,
Yeah.
professor, a doctor, right? You don't really have to do physical labor or anything like that.
Right.
And for the majority of people, they're not going into those degrees.
Right. 100%. And
Right.
that's a degree.
They're getting some weird ass degree that doesn't have a job at the end of the road, and it's like,
You get a temp job instead, and then you're like, I don't want to do this
yeah,
anymore.
and then you end up working at a customer service
Happens
place,
all the
answering
time.
phones, or in a warehouse, moving some boxes and shit.
Mhm.
And nothing wrong with that. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Make money however you're gonna make money. But there's a lot of options out there, right? The guy who's hanging the lines on the electrical pole at FPNL is probably making close to $100,000,
Good money.
right? And it's like, and again, when I say 100,000, I know in this culture today, 100,000 is nothing, right? Because you see rappers, you see celebrities, and they spend $1 million on a watch, and it's like that's not real life for everybody.
No.
And I think a lot of kids growing up, they're not seeing real life. Like, this is real life. Like, real life is not you're gonna make $1 million and buy $1 million watch.
Right.
Right. It's not real life for the majority of people. That's not gonna happen. But you can make a good living.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
my thing. Right. You can make a good living. You can be able to enjoy life to the fullest. You know what I mean? But you gotta set expectations that you're not gonna buy a Jacob or
A yacht.
Petite Philippe Tiffany one that's $6 million watch, right? You're not gonna buy it. You're not gonna buy a yacht.
Right.
You're not gonna buy. You can set those goals.
I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah, you can set those goals and go high, but you gotta know, also be self-aware and understanding. Like, listen, if I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna be Jeff Bezos. Like, Jeff Bezos
Yeah.
brought Amazon to the world,
Hey.
changed the whole world.
There's only one Jeff Bezos, though.
Yeah, but there's one in every couple decades or whatever. There's a Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. But what I'm saying is, get back to reality, is just making 100,000, 200,000, especially wherever you live at that point. If you're living in rural area like South Florida, you need to make 100,000.
Yeah.
Or more,
To
right?
live nice. Look decent.
Single person, you need to make at least 100,000. So or combined or whatever. So, but if you live in North Florida, you can probably make less.
Yeah, for sure.
But you got to look at what pays those wages too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people run away from the trades. I would say this for more for men. I'm not saying women can't do trades, but majority is going to be young kids, young men.
And there's a weird perception of it too. Like they don't think that they could make as much money as they're not sure about the financial. They see it on TV,
Well,
or
they
you
don't-
see
yeah,
it
they
on
don't know.
you have a preconceived notion on what it is. If somebody asked me what I do for a living, or just before I even answer, they would have an idea. Oh, he digs and he plays with poopy, right? Or an electrician. Oh, he just runs wires. No, there's a science behind all that. There's a
You gotta learn.
technical science behind all
You
of
gotta
that.
learn all these things.
There's so much, and there's schooling that goes involved. It is a career. It's not a job. Some people do show up just to collect a check, and then they realize, wow, there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh yeah.
And some people, even in our business, even in plumbing, some people, or in any trade, some people only get good at one phase of that trade, and there's 18 phases of that trade that they don't even know, or they didn't even know existed. So it's good to, especially the more you know, the more you're worth, for one, and for two, you don't have to derail your own life and what you want to do. But sometimes those goals and dreams don't work out. And I'm not saying trade's something to fall back on. If you get it, the younger you get into it, sometimes the better. And you have to start at the low end and work your way up from there.
With anything.
With anything, so
Yeah.
it's a good idea for some of these people to get into the trades. Pick a good, decent trade. I think maybe fire sprinklers, electrician, AC, plumbing. There's a bunch of them out there, man, and it's definitely worth it. It's definitely made our lives a lot better. So it's a smart move.
That's what I say. You can make it what you want to be, and then eventually you can be.
Don't get me wrong, it's hard work.
You can be an entrepreneur. You can own your own company.
It'll weed you out if you
Right.
don't
It's
have a good mentality.
Very little businesses that you get into, right? Or you go work for that you can actually own one,
Mhm.
right? You go work for Chick-fil-A, you could get a franchise. You could buy a Chick-fil-A.
Sure.
It costs a lot more money than for you to open up your own plumbing company, or your own electrical company, or
Right.
your own AC company, or
Correct.
your own fire sprinkler. It's gonna cost you a lot more. And what people don't understand, you could become an entrepreneur off of that. Really, you don't even have to be in the trade.
No.
You can open one up.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a great thing too. But a lot of people shy away from those businesses just because of the glory. The glory is not there as the same as some of these other businesses that people are talking about, or people are successful in. And I think, especially for younger kids that don't know what they want to do and kind of lost, and just
Trying to figure it out, and they don't
Yeah.
want to join the military. Come try trades.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's definitely
Go to
worth
the
it.
military. I think go to the military. If that's something.
Yeah, but
if you're
sometimes they don't.
lost,
Sometimes they don't want. If you're lost and you can't locate exactly what you think, maybe you have all these grandiose ideas, but you
Yeah.
don't know how to start. Sometimes even getting in the trades to start it out, and then you wind up
Start
doing
there,
something
yeah,
else.
think
It
of something.
builds a good foundation of.
Yeah, it does. It's gonna be work. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a work ethic. It's gonna be you learning.
They'll
something.
teach you a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I believe that. Too.
Conor McGregor was a plumber, and Brad Pitt was a plumber.
Yeah.
Before they ever got into what they were doing.
And
So
look, he's an actor.
it could always transition into something else too, but overall, it definitely teaches you a lot. It tests you mentally and
Especially
physically.
for the young kids, the young boys
sure.
and all that. I think it's a good thing, and I think we shy away from them, and we don't have the same. You don't have the same glory as you say. I'm a manager at. I don't know why you would say some places being a manager. I don't know. Anyways, but you're not. Believe me, money is there.
For sure.
And this is in every state. You could do it in every state. You can do it in every country. Shit,
It's
you
a
can go to
skill
another country and be an electrician.
Yep.
Right. You can go to Mexico and be a plumber. You can go to.
You don't even have to. You don't even have to work for a company. You can just put an ad out, and then people will start calling you. You could be
That's
handyman.
illegal, but don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, I'm just saying. There's money in all of it. There's money in scrapping. There's money in.
Yeah, you could go.
There's so many
That's what I'm saying.
avenues where
Like
money.
you could just go. I'm saying the weird thing is you can move states and still do what you do.
Yeah, they can't
Right?
take from what you when
A
you
lot of the
remember
stuff
when you
that
have
people-
that stuff in
People
there.
that learn in these businesses, you can't go to another state with that shit.
No.
That shit ain't gonna work.
Knowledge is power for
Yeah.
sure.
So,
especially in that.
Especially for the people that if you're lost and you don't know what to do, your best bet is to jump on one of those and go instead of just jumping straight to college. That's another thing is the college route that everybody's pushing,
Mhm.
and then people are crying about the debt.
Yeah.
Which this is a whole nother conversation to have too.
Yeah.
But people are crying about the debt.
Yeah.
Don't go to college. Right? You don't have to.
Mhm.
Right? There's some people that do secondary things that don't even go to college.
Yeah.
That learn about nursing and all this. You don't have to go to college. Think about it. You see what you want in life, really what you want to do with yourself.
Or at least give.
And then-
You could even try to give it a shot. Give it a shot.